Greetings, fellow travelers. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm trying to narrate the video clip while watching it on the PC as opposed to watching it on the laptop while sitting in the living room talking into the controller of the PlayStation. The controller is on a pile of videos to jack it up a little bit off the top of the computer desk to see how this is going to work out. Now, what you're looking at is a variation of the wire glitching technique that I found in a Double Dash Gaming video sometimes back. Basically, he would suggest that you link each planter to a central point on the floor of the biodome. It looked lovely. The problem was that I found after 10, it had a tendency of not wanting to connect to the center. So what I did here is a variation of that where I just went to a reference point on the floor, which I was planning on putting plants. This results in 15 connection points outside, 15 connection points on the inside. The plan was to put 4 plants on the outside, 2 plants on the inside. 6 times 15 is 90, and for some reason when I was doing the 4 times 15, I concluded it was 70, not 60. So the end result was just a little bit off. It is an interesting variation on having the flowers all over the floor. They are following something of a pattern. So that was it for the graviton balls. So I'm going to double check to see what my work looks like. And, well, very pretty. Of course, they're going to have to grow. And one last look, yes, they're all there. Some of them are flipped around, which is interesting because I was always facing outwards when planting them. And the other relevant videos would be from Trosk Vision on how to build a giant biodome. And the other one is Mega Farm Biodome by Scottish Rod. These are some of the oldest commentators I've seen on YouTube. I've been watching them for well over a year. Generally like what they present and want to give due credit where credit is due. Now the giant biodome does have some weird quirks about it. You can't put whatchamacallit, a door. So yes, there you go. Planting points no longer work. So there's a problem with supersizing things. I'm going to do some rigorous testing to see if you can't connect 2 giant biodomes with a giant corridor. I doubt it. Well, again, kind of says it all. Now, it will form up against another structure such as a cube or a smaller structure generating a large opening. Now, I could be wrong, but I do believe that there is a disc in the middle. That is the original floor disc. It somehow does not expand. So putting the teleporter right underneath there didn't affect things in a negative fashion. I've also completely turned off the audio of the video because it's incredibly windy there. Even inside the structures you would hear the sound of the wind, and I do not need this to drown me out. So based on what I'd done previously, I decided to not bother with the inside connecting point. But this is where Scottish Rod's video comes in, where it does indicate you can just wire glitch the plants pretty much anywhere. I'm not the only one who's done this video. Other people have. While trying to find this video yesterday, I came across one video where the guy had planted nip-nip bud. The before picture, the place is empty, one nip-nip bud. The after picture from the outside, it basically looked like a neon green afro. Now, the biodome is not guilty of cultural appropriation. It's not sentient. But there were that many nip-nip buds. He must have patiently put one every inch. Now, I don't know if this gentleman was on console or on PC. I presume PC allows a little bit more finesse than console, so it might be a little bit more difficult to achieve the same result with a console. And of course, the insight was full. I think he would get something like several hundred, maybe a few thousand nip-nip buds. So, here's a plan. Each ring, each spot on the outside should get 6, making a total of 90, leaving us with 10 on the floor itself. And I do come back to do this, but not at this point. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, the teleporter is still there. On to the next one. Alright, I take it back. I think this is where I did the free planting. Don't know what I did for the nip-nip bud. It's been a few days since I did this, about a week actually. And at the time I was not thinking about doing a video narration. At the time I wasn't planning on scrapping this base. As a workaround to not being able to install more bases around the Winterhold settlement / Raven Rock base, if I show up using a different profile that doesn't go against the 16,000 parts maximum per profile. And having forgotten that it's not the profile that is teleporting, or porting I should say, to the location that has to have the last save, but rather the one that you're porting to, I end up having Copperhill as the default base instead of Raven Rock. Have to do the portal thing again. So I actually deleted Three Peaks once I'd begun construction work at the Winterhold settlement. So, but none of that had happened and at this time, and I had not planned or anticipated narration. But this is something of a my first how-to video. The original videos, I say videos because the PlayStation won't copy onto USB disk anything more, sorry, not disk, stick, anything more than 4 gigs. 30 minutes is 4 gigs. It was, at that point, it was 4.09. And the last part, which is actually sort of a walkthrough, another 5 minutes. So you're looking at 35 minutes. And between trying to speed things up, not entirely crazy about the effect, cutting out entire sections of me planting plants for several minutes, we managed to reduce it roughly to a third that size. Now, in regards to planting, it is tedious and boring. You're warned. But walking into your biodome and getting 100 plants, or 200 plants, or 300 plants, beats the heck out of going to a large hydroponic tray, picking one plant at a time. The whole reason why I looked into this originally was that I had a greenhouse at Lindrell Hall with 20 large hydroponic plays, so 4 plants each. So you're looking at 80 plants. And strangely enough, the cursor has to be at the center of the plant, which is a very specific spot as opposed to on the plant. So it took forever. Literally putting 20 biodomes with a standard complement of 15 plants in each was faster to go through that. Literally, you could just jog than going through the greenhouse. My throat's a little sore. I'm not sure if it's allergies or somebody at work has complained about having a cough. So here I am. I'm adding 10 plants to the ground to whatever amount I planted in the water trough, the hydroponic part of the biodome. The plan again is to get 100. So 100 nip-nip buds, 100 grab tom balls, 100 poison sac. Makes for nice little harvests. And you get a fair bit of money back from wherever you sell it. I have a tendency of looking for the best price. But even if you sell it at a loss, I don't actually visit biodomes at Flindrell Hall or Raven Rock anymore because I got 4 billion credits and counting. The freighter missions generated a huge amount of money. And here we go. Ooh, ah. $97 out of 100. So I would just randomly place 3 more and that would be the end of it if I wanted to get exact 100. And this is where my math is in abeyance. Bearing in mind that the total should have been 90, it's actually very good. You can just randomly add 10, 11 balls, or fill out the middle of the room, and there you go.